I had to reprogram my mind completely to be able to give a meaning to what narcissists made with me, and I had to make something with. It is my life. This was designed for me, so I could learn the lessons I had to learn, give a meaning to that, and become a stronger version, better version of myself. Hi, my name is Gabriela, and I am creating some videos talking about how I overcame being in a narcissistic relationship, the lessons that I learned, how these actually improved my connection with myself, how narcissism was an important tool for me to access spiritual awakening. If you're coming from the principle that we are energy, that we are not material beings, we all came from the same source, and we have lessons to learn here. If you have this understanding, life becomes a little easier, but not as easy as you think. How to build this confidence after a relationship like that, how to become yourself again, how to rediscover yourself, how to enter in your frame. I hope that if you are here right now, you're really stepping into responsibility and you know that you are the only person who can change your life. I'm gonna show you step by step how I got into my own frame, how I understood my power, and how I reconnected with myself. First of all, the first thing you can do is learn. Learn everything you can. You don't have to spend a single penny because you have all the books available on YouTube. I am sure that if you experience this right now, it's not your first time. I started to write about all the people that were narcissistic in my life that I know since I was a kid. So I started with my stepfather, and then I come to friends and people that I studied with, and then bosses, and I was like, whoa, they were always present. It really feels like a test. It really feels like life put them there for a reason. There's something that I needed to accomplish. There was something that I needed to learn from this. I even wrote a letter talking about how grateful I am that this happened to me. I am not romanticizing narcissism by any means. I'm just only letting you know whatever the hell is going on, whatever problem you have, you can either use that to your advantage and grow, or you can become a victim of the circumstance. Actions that I did that changed my life completely and took me out of my narcissistic relationship. Number one thing that I did was I started to write every day. I would write what my dreams were telling me. I would never know what my subconscious would be telling me if I wasn't writing. Let me tell you my dream, just so you have an idea how our subconscious work. Like one day I had this dream that I was like in a cult, and then I know that the leader of this cult was my ex. He was this narcissistic person, sociopath, and I just couldn't get out of there. But then I decided in my dream, run away at night. And then we had a bunch of other women that were subjugated and confined in this space. And we were daughters and wives. And somehow he had this thing for me. Like he wanted me. He felt like I was his, right? Because that's how they operate. That's how they work. So in my dream, I decided to get out of the cult, and I at night started to run, and everybody was trying to find me. Like there were trucks and other guys involved and other women, and everybody was looking for me, and it was a huge place. I had to escape, kind of like jumping the fence or something. But then at the end of my dream, I escaped, and I was so relieved. After this dream, which was pretty intense, you don't know if it's a dream or it's not when you're dreaming, right? Sometimes you know, but in this case, I didn't know. So it was so meaningful to me. And then I heard after, through narcissistic specialists, that living with a narcissist is basically living in a cult. It was just incredible to me, like how my brain could do this reference without me knowing, without me relating before with this specific thing. And then I wrote this, and then having access to that and reading this is just like an incredible experience, because it's basically seeing how your subconscious can talk to you. So write down your dreams, write down what you dream, even if it doesn't make any sense. Like write about your dreams. The first thing you could do when you wake up is to write about what you were dreaming before. I have this habit of coming back to my notes, and I learn a lot from it. So other than write about your dreams, write how you're feeling. When I was with him, I decided to write every day about our interactions. And I noticed that we would have pretty much over 10 bad interactions to one good interaction. It's like an addictive cycle. How the hell would I notice something like that if I didn't see its evidence? Meditation is a great tool. Meditation fortifies you, gives you insights. You start to separate your thoughts of who you are. So every time you think, you see, oh, it's my ego. So when you start meditating, you can start deciding which thoughts you're gonna hear. And if you hear something that you don't want to hear, you can basically just switch the tape. It's really like listening to a radio station. When you don't like what the radio station is playing right now, you can just change it. Just change it. That's what you can do with meditation. A really good thing that I also used was Ho'oponopono. I did listen to Ho'oponopono for over 6 months straight. After these 6 months, I feel like I could release a little bit of my anger, or maybe a lot of my anger, because now I understand that you can only hurt people when you are hurt inside. So once again, I'm not romanticizing, but these people are really broken. Okay, what they do with you, believe me, this is what they have inside of them, and they projecting into you. When you are an open channel for this type of people, when you don't respect your energy, when you don't respect yourself, when you're not in your frame, these things can easily happen. Just so you have an idea, I remember speaking to him on the phone, not being together with him anymore, just speaking on the phone, and this would make my next 2 days horrible. I would be in this negative state for 2 days straight. So this is an example of when you are not in your power, when you're not empowered, or when you're not in your frame, how these emotions, how these people can affect you. So Ho'oponopono helped me a lot with that. The way I would do Ho'oponopono was I would listen to 8 hours of Ho'oponopono. The other very, very powerful technique that I used was I recorded my own tape with the things that I wanted to achieve, you know, basically like a manifestation tape. And the way I did was I was giving thanks to the things that I already had. So I would say things like, thank you for the amazing house with this peaceful house. Thank you for my amazing dog. And I did all of this and I manifested many things that I have right now. Because the way that you can think differently and change your belief system that was created when you were a kid is to really reprogramming your mind. We're programmed your whole life, or at least the first 7 years of your life, when you are mostly functioning in a theta wave brain. So just as an introduction for who never heard about this, depending on what we're doing and what time of the day, we have different length waves going on in our brains. And I'm gonna give an example. When we are meditating, we are in a state of theta. So theta waves promotes this kind of like download. So you learn things quickly, you get to insights, you access your subconscious mind. I am using a lot of my prefrontal cortex. So I am in beta. Beta is like an arousal. You are working, you are analytical, you are deciding things. Beta can also be stress. But I want to share this with you because I really think it's important. I learned this from Joe Dispenza. And then alpha, when you get home and you're relaxed and you chill, almost ready to go to bed, you are in alpha. You're more relaxed, you're more chill. But then when you go to bed, you come back to theta, where you can reprogram your subconscious mind. That's why it's so important to go to sleep in good spirits. It is really bad when you are, let's say, mad at your partner, or you are, before going to bed, just rethinking all the problems that you have. Like, this is the worst thing you can do for yourself. From now on, if you're watching this video, please stop going to bed and reliving the bad things, the same bad things that you experience in your life. Because what you're gonna do is you're gonna create this magnetic field where you're gonna attract more and more of that. I had to literally like brainwash myself and learn a new way to live my life. like a new way to conceptualize myself. It takes time, especially after narcissistic relationship with someone highly narcissistic sociopath. Like, you don't know, when you go through a relationship like that, you get to a point that you don't even know who you are, because you lose yourself. That's the power of the negativity. If you let yourself go so down, this is what ends up happening. This theta state, when you go to bed, use this in your favor. You know, we have a few different ways to learn things. We can repeat, or you can have a strong emotion. But the other way you can learn things is when you use this theta state, when you're sleeping, to listen to a tape that can reprogram your brain. So it's like a self-hypnotizing technique. I made these tapes. I created the future that I wanted. I decided the things that I wanted to achieve and the things that I didn't want anymore. I just thanked them and released them. And this, I think, was so powerful. And I wish I knew that before. I think that of all the things that I did, this was probably the most powerful one, the most powerful tool. Another very, very, very important thing that I did, EFT. Have you heard about EFT? EFT, also called tapping, like tapping, 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 tapping. You know, I don't know a lot about neuroscience of tapping or EMDR. EMDR is eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. Oh God, that's difficult. So what this does is basically you retell yourself this story, the trauma, whatever happened to you, and then you use these techniques to kind of like have your brain focus in what you're doing right now with your body, you know, the eye movement technique or the tapping, and then you just can't focus on the problem anymore. You cannot focus on the situation that happened. The trauma is gone. I use tapping a lot for reprogram my limiting beliefs regarding money, because I used to feel, not think, I would understand that I can achieve things, but I would just feel like afraid and feeling like it's not for me. So I use tapping to break this cycle, break this ideology that things were not for me. And you can do the same with narcissism. I didn't use it for narcissists, I have to be honest with you, but you can also use for narcissists. You can use for anything. And then the other very, 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 very important thing you have to do is do what you said you were going to do. I said, you know what, I'm gonna record a video tomorrow, and then I wrote something that I wanted to do, and I'm here and I'm doing the thing that I said I was going to. What happens when you do this is that you create a ripple effect. Like, you become stronger. You get that confidence that you didn't have anymore. Like, you get this confidence of like, you know what, I'm gonna do this. And then you trust yourself, you believe yourself. And then when you do this, it is very, very empowering, very, very powerful. You know, it is a common thing to think, yeah, but they did this to me 4 years ago. I just can't overcome this. Look, I'm still feeling this way because of what they did. You're still outsourcing the responsibility of your own happiness. And then some people, they feel so empty. They say, I don't know who I am anymore. This is actually the opportunity for you to look inside. Life is giving you a present. Open the present. And it's so difficult, I know, because it is really stepping into the unknown. We don't know how it's gonna be, but once you do it, I'm telling you, things just get better and better. If you don't do this exercise, if you don't empower yourself again, you're gonna continue creating the same situations, the same patterns, unfortunately hanging out with the same type of people. You are afraid to be alone, and you're craving their attention. You're craving their approval. Like, this is a trap. Okay, you're never gonna please someone like that. They are not people that you can please. I am not going deep on a technique, I'm telling you what I used, but whatever you choose to use, you need to learn more about it. You need to research and do your own thing, because it's your own healing. And we all heal differently. We all need different things depending on things that we resonate with or not. But very important, I just want to say, because I have like my notes here, to simplify your step-by-step, Acknowledge yourself, your own story. Who are you? The things that you achieve, and things that you want to be. And then focus on yourself. Don't do the mistake of focusing on the narcissist and how they should change. This is out of your business. They can change if they want. This is not up to you. This is with them. It's their reincarnation. It's their lives and their karma. You have nothing to do with that. Break this cycle of thinking that you need people, that you need the validation. I'm gonna tell you something. Like, since I decided after my multiple spiritual awakenings, I moved from a city with almost 3 million people. I used to live in Silicon Valley, and I moved here to this town that only has 4,000 people. Like, I live in a completely different environment, and I have nature. I'm surrounded by nature. I have nature in my house, and I have nature outside of the house, and I have these most beautiful parks. It is a completely different life. After a relationship like that, being alone is so important. It is so important that you will learn. Believe me, if you stay a little bit by yourself, you will learn who you truly are. You will learn your potentialities. You will learn what you like to eat, what you like to do, because sometimes we lose ourselves in relationships like that. So use the time for yourself. Reprogram your mind. The tape before you go to bed, and you start listening, then you sleep, and then you spend the 8 hours listening to this new you, giving you power, giving you strength. Oh my God, the next day you wake up like, what is for me today? Break these limiting beliefs of, I'm not worthy of this. This is not for me. This job is not for me. Maybe it's someone else. It is really what you say it is. It is what you believe it is. It is gonna be for you if you believe it is. It's not gonna be for you if you think you're not capable of. The way you can really break the cycle, break your limiting beliefs, is learning more about modern sciences. Myself, I love neuroscience, I love epigenetics, and I love quantum physics. I started learning more about this subject after the relationship. I already love neuroscience and human behavior, but this empowered me a lot, because now I know how to create the environment that I need to thrive and really heal your emotions. Use these techniques to heal your emotions, to really go deep. And it's gonna be uncomfortable. Checking on you. When was the first time that you felt that emotion that is so hurtful? Sometimes it doesn't start with the narcissist. You just recreate that with the narcissist. But this is started in your childhood. Follow through with what you said you were going to do. Really do it. This is gonna empower you. Reinforce your boundaries. Be alone. Say bye to that friendship that doesn't make any sense. You're wasting your time. When I left my ex-husband, I didn't have any money, and I was in this house in Santa Cruz, and it was a really cool place. But one thing that I didn't appreciate about my roommates is that sometimes you're not in the mood for, going out or doing this or doing that, because you focused in your growth. You focused in what you want to do. You're reading a book, and people don't understand that. That's why I decided to be here alone. It's because I can decide my time. And it's so important that you decide what you're going to do with your time too. So reinforce your boundaries. Trust yourself and let go with the past. Forget about the past. Don't rewrite the same neural pathways in your brain. Don't do that. This is a mistake. Every time you think about them, every time you think about the situation, you just reinforcing and creating these neural connections in your brain. It's not worth it. It becomes more difficult because it's a habit. It becomes more difficult to stop thinking of them. And then this is my last thing, just take it easy with yourself. Accept yourself. Love yourself. Enjoy the process. I think that one thing that helps you and guides you in this process is learning to listen to yourself. What is your highest excitement? What makes you happy? Whatever it is at the moment. I'm not talking about drugs or anything, damaging. I'm talking about I want to be in nature, or I want to go out with this friend. Listen to your body. Listen to yourself. The Ho'oponopono prayer is going to be here in the description of this video. Please take a look. Get this video, listen to it before you go to bed. If you need to forgive someone, if you need to forgive yourself, go to sleep at night listening to this tape. I'm telling you, this can change your life forever. It is a continuous process, and I'm still in my process. I'm still healing. You know, I'm not there yet, but I am in my best version and what I can do right now and what I can be right now. And I am glad. I'm enjoying every moment. Thanks for watching this video. I hope to see you soon. Bye.